Hello again. We are Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to talk about things to watch in Arkansas's opener. The Razorbacks take on Arkansas Pine-Bluff Thursday night game, 6:30 ESPN. And let's be real, okay? Arkansas right now is what, a 52-point favorite, Chase, in this one?
About 50.5 is what a couple of the services have them at, yeah.
I think Jeff Sagarin's a little more generous. I think he's got it in the low to mid 40s. But it should, I mean, and Jeff Sagarin last year had Pine Bluff rated, I think, his worst team in the country between the FCS and FBS. So we're going to be clear. We will limit our powers of observation, but still, we're going to try to come up with three things that we're watching for, and we think you should watch for too. But first, Chase, tell folks who we are sponsored by here.
Yeah, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from UFC to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, you can head over to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker or one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action. You can use promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. That is promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V. Bet online, the game starts here.
Well, Chase, I think a lot of discussion about Arkansas this year is centered around Bobby Petrino and the offense he is bringing. Of course, Bobby Petrino, an Arkansas legend, now back as the offensive coordinator. Tell me what you're looking for in that regard.
Well, I think just what does it look like? What does this offense look like? Is there continuity on the offense? This is the first game, so obviously, you got to imagine some first game mistakes will be made, but really just finding out the identity of the offense. You mentioned Bobby Petrino. He's offensive coordinator. You have a new quarterback in Taylen Green. You've got new running backs. You got new receivers. So there's a lot of new on this offense. And so I'm really curious just what it looks like, what they look like together. How long is it going to take for this offense to get in sync with all the new that there's around it? So I think continuity is something that you're going to have to look for in this Arkansas offense early in the season. It's You look at this game, you mentioned they're going to be very much favored in this game, but that's not going to be the case the rest of the year. So this is a game where this offense can really work on getting in sync. You're going to see a lot of faces, I'm sure, in this game if they do. If the game goes like it's being predicted, I'm sure we'll see a lot of players in this game. So where's the continuity at? What does the offense look like? How do they play together? I think there's a lot of questions that we'll have to see being answered in this year one under Bobby Petrino in this new offense.
Yeah, like what does the run-pass balance look like? I would presume they'd go more ground heavy. I don't know if that's going to be what it looks like or not going forward. And I think the going forward part too, you got to remember they have got Oklahoma State the week after that. And I believe that's on the road. It is on the road. So you've got a balance there between how much do you want to get your guys confident / fresh / used to playing together, which you've also got practice to do. And how much is that you don't want to take the chance of getting somebody hurt.
Yeah.
With OSU, because that Oklahoma State game, I think, is going to be potentially one of the biggest ones of Arkansas' season, especially if the Razorbacks were going to go on the road and, say, pull an upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I think this is one of those games that you do have to be careful in for that reason, because there's more to the season than your opener with Arkansas Pine-Bluff, and not to take this team lightly, but this is a game Arkansas should win. And so, I think we've seen a lot of guys, but just finding some continuity on offense and seeing what Bobby Petrino does, like what's going to be Arkansas's identity this year. What's the balance going to be? They're replacing a lot of guys at receiver and at running back. So there's a lot of names to learn, a lot of guys to learn. But just finding out what their identity is going to be and them kind of setting the tone for the season in game one.
Well, and I think that leads to where the mind goes next. Again, how much do you play your backups? And then what does that look like? That's point number 2 here. We have not seen Malachi Singleton play yet. He is presumably Arkansas's backup quarterback. He was a class of 2023 recruit, a mostly a 4-star recruit by most services. So you would presume he would get a chance to play. KJ Jackson, I guess, will be perhaps their third. He's a class of 24 recruit. You think maybe both those guys will get into games. I mean, frankly, good opportunity because of the 4-game redshirt rule. This is a game I would think that if a third quarterback doesn't get in, and this may be the best chance for them to do that, I guess is what I'm trying to say, unless you've got an injury or something really bad down the line. So that's one place I look is you get Taylen Green out, maybe by halftime, who knows, maybe before, see what it looks like with Singleton and or Jackson or whatever that pecking order looks like. I think number 2, Braylen Russell and C.J. Brown were 2 guys that have flashed and gotten headlines. They're freshmen. Russell is a running back, presumably their third guy behind Rashad Dubinion and Jaquindon Jackson, the Utah transfer. Brown, the high school recruit. Those are 2 guys that I think, that they come in, they make a splash early, which they've done in scrimmages and practice. They've gotten headlines at times. So I think those are the kinds of spots like if they don't play here, they're probably not playing. And I think there's a good chance that those guys get an extended look in these spots. And what does it look like, Chase?
Yeah, and you want that. If you're one of these guys coming out of high school and you're in a game like this, game 1, like you have a chance to make a name for yourself in college football. To again, we're going to see a lot of players in this game, we imagine, and so you have a chance to kind of make a name for yourself, to show that you're ready for the moment, you're ready to play. So yeah, these younger guys that coming out of high school into college, like, this is your chance. You're going to get some time, take advantage of it, and do some work. So yeah, imagine with a guy like Rocket Sanders transferring out, they're really trying to. I don't know. He was hurt last year, and so some other guys had a chance to get in there. But you're looking at really only one returning running back in Rashad Dubinion, and so other guys have a chance to step up, get themselves in that rotation of running backs, because you can't just have one. This is SEC football. You've got to have at least 2, most likely 3 running backs that you're going to have to get in, get some fresh legs in there. So these guys have a chance to prove they're ready for this also in these moments.
All right, Chase, storyline number 3, and this could be lumped into number 2, but I think this guy deserves his own one. And if you're an Arkansas fan and you're listening, you probably already know where I'm going to go. Monte Harrison, who was a kid who signed with Nebraska in 2014, signed instead for a $1.8 million signing bonus to go to Major League Baseball, where he was drafted in the 2nd round. He kind of bounced around the minors, played about 50 games with various organizations. Now Monte Harrison, who was called by one service the best athlete they'd ever seen, at least by one of their analysts or team writers. I can't remember who the quote goes to. 24/7 Sports is Michael Bruntz, who covered Harrison as a recruit when he signed with Nebraska 2014. This per CBS Sports. Anyway, here's what I'm getting at. Harrison's a fantastic athlete. He's going to be 29 years old, I think, when he suits up for the Razorbacks. Is giving it up and going to give it a shot here. I think he's paying his own tuition out of his signing bonus. He's run with the first team at times. I don't know how that's going to go, but I think everybody's kind of excited to see a guy who hadn't played football in a decade, but is a tremendous athlete. He said, I'm done with MLB. We're rooting for Monte Harrison here, Chase.
And just a cool story. I mean, that he's doing this, that he is getting back out there. I mean, that takes a lot. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, what he does. I mean, that's just a cool story to start with. But he's a great athlete as well, and that's why he's in the position he is right now.
Yeah. Well, we will be talking about that. Remember, a Thursday night game, so we'll have our eyes on it, see what happens. We'll be covering the Razorbacks along with the other 15 SEC teams this year, not just football, basketball, and baseball too. And we cover all 3 sports year-round. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do yourself a favor. Please do. Hit that like button. That helps our analytics. And we literally reach millions of people a year here through our series of podcasts and YouTubes. If you're interested in reaching that audience, Caroline.Smith@Southeastern14. The email address is old, but it'll get there for your inquiries. We hope you'll be a part of our show. All right. For Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. We are Southeastern 16, presented by BetOnline.